Yo, what is good, YouTube? Krishan checking back in with another video. So on the first update of the day, we have more updates from Nick Walker. Nick is putting out updates almost every single day, and he is still in Las Vegas at the Dragon Lairs gym. Also, if you haven't seen the podcast Nick Walker did with Flex Lewis over on Flex channel, definitely go check that out. Great watch. But to me, Nick Walker is looking better in every single update, and I'm almost positive he will maintain his top 5 position, and it's possible that Nick even places higher than that. A lot of these guys are very, very close, and they're going to be small things to set them apart. And I think ab separation may set Nick apart from some other guys. Neither William Bonac nor Hunter Labrada have the best ab separation, and I think there will be a glaring weakness next to Nick Walker. Now, of course, this isn't an ab competition, but if these guys match up in the shoulders, the arms, and the legs, I believe the ab separation can really play a part in this year's Olympia, but that's just me. And speaking of Hunter Labrada, we have a recent update from him at about 5.5 weeks out from this year's Olympia. Hunter looks great almost everywhere. As I just said, he needs a little bit more ab separation, but I can say Hunter Labrada is better now than what he was last year. Now, will Hunter be able to maintain their 4th place position? The way Nick Walker is looking, the way William Bonac is looking, Hunter did place ahead of both of those guys last year, but I'm not really sure. A lot of people are counting Hunter out, but I'm expecting him to bring a great package, and hopefully he is able to maintain his position in that top 4, even though it's going to be very, very hard. Now, switching over to Michal Krizo, we have recent updates from him at 6 weeks out from this year's Olympia. And I really wasn't on the Michal Krizo hype train until after I seen him at the Prague Pro. If Krizo was a little bit more conditioned, I've said it a couple times already, I don't see why he can't be very competitive against a guy like Hunter Labrada. And I don't think people realize how good Michal Krizo is structurally. As we have seen numerous times this season, guys have won shows with better structure, but not necessarily being the most conditioned. But going into this year's Olympia, as I've been saying numerous times, I don't think the structure guys are going to get a pass if they're off. If Krizo doesn't bring the best conditioning to this year's Olympia, it's possible he places outside of the top 10. Now, if Krizo comes in 100% spot on, I do believe he can be within that top 10. But regardless how Krizo places at this year's Olympia, I believe this guy can be a serious threat in the future. Now, switching over to Akim Williams, and before anyone gets scared, this isn't a recent update. Akim posted this today just to remind guys that he is coming. I believe this is from the 2020 Olympia prep when Akim brought the best conditioning of his career. Now, Akim has been knocked numerous times for constantly missing the mark, but once again, he's another guy. If he brings it, he could be in that top 10. And in the next update of the day, we have updates of Justin Rodriguez. Now, honestly, Justin is a guy, in some updates, he looks a little bit behind. You're like, this guy's never going to get in shape. And then he posts a picture the next day and he looks like he can win the entire show. Now, just being honest, I don't think we're going to see the best Justin Rodriguez at this year's Olympia, but it does look like he's going to bring a pretty good package. Once again, Justin has been top 10 for the past 2 years, so you never really know. He can really shake some things up, but I honestly don't know how to place him going into this year's show. If I was commentating on Justin after the Boston Pro, I would say he's definitely going to be top 10. You know, he placed second to Bonac there, but after his last 3 showings, I'm not really sure. Now, switching over to 212, we have a recent update from Keone Pearson, 5.5 weeks out from this year's Olympia. Keone already has striated quads, good separation in the legs, and I think this is going to be the year that he finally nails it. But this year's 212 Olympia will be extremely competitive. Now, also in 212 bodybuilding news, we have a recent update from Kerrith Bajjo. This was actually about 5 or 6 days ago. Kerrith is looking full-blown 3D, even though he is in the best lighting he could possibly find. I'm excited to see Kerrith at this year's 212 Olympia. Him and Keone have had a few battles. Keone usually comes out victorious, but Kerrith placed higher at last year's Olympia. Now, switching over to Classic Physique, we have recent updates from Breon Ansley, the Black Swan. And these videos were actually recorded by former Mr. Olympia, Samir Banu. Now, Breon Ansley is looking great right here, looking very classic. The only knock I have about Breon is he needs bigger legs. And with him being 40 plus, I honestly don't think he can bring the legs up anymore. But outside of the legs, look at the back of Breon Ansley. Look at the arms, look at the posing. This is classic bodybuilding. And I personally believe Breon still should be placing at least top 4 in this division, but I think the judges think otherwise. Now, switching over to Dancovea Anderson, the winner of this year's Texas State Pro. I believe Dancovea has a very bright future, and this guy's physique reminds me a bit of Terrence Ruffin, and he may even have a smaller waist. But going into this year's Olympia, I've said it before, I believe Dancovea can probably be top 10, top 12. I would have to take a second look at the list, but this guy would be a serious threat in the future. Also brought some pretty good condition. Seems like he was just holding a little bit of water. Now switching over to Fabian Mayr, these are recent updates of him ahead of this year's Classic Olympia. As I've said, the closer we get to the Olympia, seems like Fabian's waist gets smaller and smaller. I'm hoping he can really shake some things up this year. Seems like there are a lot of guys struggling to make weight this year. I wonder if Fabian is. Currently said he's about 119 kg in these updates, but I'm excited to see this guy on stage. Also, he did a recent guest posing at the same show William Bonac did. Fabian looked incredible there, looked huge, also did some great posing. Now, ending this video here with the archive of the day, you guys let me know in the comment section below which legendary bodybuilder is this. As always, I hope you guys did indeed enjoy this video. If you haven't done so already, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm Krishan from Go Fitness, and that's it. I'm out.